Welcome to Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web-exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on classes being canceled at Stanley Lake and Conifer High Schools today due to a high number of teacher absences. Reportedly, teachers are upset at the Jeffco School Board for its new policy on teacher pay raises and moves to change the AP History curriculum. Patty, this was brand new news to us today on Friday, but a big deal when two major high schools in Jeffco have to close because of so many teachers. What do you think?
Well, I think if the teachers really want to strengthen their position and maybe get some compromises going in Jeffco, this isn't a good move because it generally certainly makes all the parents peeved. Kids are thrilled, but it is not a gesture that you're going to really be compromising. What's amazing is that the AP history class is part of this, and when the history of what has gone on recently in the Jeffco School District is written, it is going to be wild reading, wild enough to keep any high school class busy.
David Kopel from the Independence Institute and DU Law School. When you see kind of sick-outs like this, which wasn't official because it's officially against the law, so the Jefferson County Educators Association, the teachers union out there, officially was not involved and was against the action. What kind of effect will this kind of event have on the relations with teachers and the board?
As Patty said, I think to the average citizen and the public, including the ones who matter the most in school board elections, families with kids in the Jeffco schools currently, it really weakens the teachers' union position because it is an unreasonable, illegal action, and I think shows some of the extremism within the union. So you can say are some of the school board members, too extreme for Jeffco? That argument can be made, although they did win the election. But now it's not them versus moderates. Now it's the other side is at least as extreme.
Eric Soderman, political analyst. The Jeffco School Board has found its way in the headlines essentially as soon as that new conservative majority was elected last year. Is there going to be a breaking point where they're getting themselves in the news too much, or is this kind of part of what maybe education reform when you elect a conservative majority looks like?
Yes and yes. They may be in the news more than they want to be or more than is good for their long-term politics, but it is what these debates look like. You look at Douglas County, where that majority now seems to be solid. They've won a few elections in a row. In Jeffco, David points out, they were elected, and they weren't elected by cliffhanger margins. They were elected by mid to upper 50% margins. In one case, I believe, approaching 60%. These were not razor-tight races. There's a growing disconnect out in Jeffco between this new board majority and well, not just between the new board majority and the teachers, but between a growing sense among a growing political constituency for reform and those who have had their way out there as forces of the status quo, including the union, for decades. It's been a very sweetheart relationship out there up until a year ago between the union, the board, the administration building, and that sweetheart relationship is now gone. I'm sure the union is completely shocked and appalled and had no knowledge or input whatsoever into these sick-outs. I think Patty and David's analysis is right. Ultimately, it will do them more harm than good, and there needs to be a way to find some common ground here, and it seems to be a long way away.
Vic Fella from Colorado Community Media, one of your colleagues in one of the papers, one of the many papers that Colorado Community Media represents, did a great job analyzing what's going on. What do you think of what happened?
Yeah, Crystal Anderson wrote those stories. But well, and going back to Eric's point on the shift of the Jefferson County School Board, Amendment 66 really hurt progressive candidates last year. And and I think it was sort of they were tied to Amendment 66 whether they liked it or not. So the politics of that, there's that. But the interesting thing about what they're trying to do with this AP history course is they're trying to model it after a Texas school board. And just to read what that would mean, materials should not encourage or condone civil disorder, social strife, or disregard of the law. So there goes the Civil War and women's suffrage and civil rights and everything. And instructional materials should present positive aspects of the U.S. and its heritage. So there goes Watergate and Kennedy's and Lincoln's assassination. So it's actually going to be a really easy course because kids won't have anything to learn about.
That whole thing.
Everyone gets an A.
Yes, so the American Indians and Thanksgiving, they brought turkey and everything was great. Yes, exactly. Definitely some things that we'll be talking about in the future. That's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out Postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.